Good morning and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the UNF Department of Communication in CW17. I'm Ashley Young.
And I'm Annie Black. We're here each month with stories about life on the First Coast. This month, we love it, we hate it, sometimes it defines us, and it pays the bills, hopefully.
You've probably figured it out by now. Our topic today is work.
Opportunities as a starving artist can be scarce, but if art runs through your veins, following your passion is easy.
Joshua Brangenberg has the story of one woman whose love for art got her through one of the most difficult times of her life.
A common sight here in Hemming Plaza, artists selling paintings, jewelry, painted cups, or other decorations at the monthly art walk. June Foray is one of the artists who's usually here. She specializes in tangled art, a type of art that is known for its patterns. Like many artists, Foray had to get over her fear of what other people think.
I was afraid that people would laugh, or what would they think, or oh, she's not good enough, all that stuff you stay in your head. And I just took a chance and got brave and started doing art walk and put it out there, and it's been great since. I got a lot of good feedback.
The artists at Art Walk have to work hard to set up their show to receive that feedback. Foray says that doing shows may not be the most glamorous part of the job, but it can be one of the most rewarding.
It's actually the part that makes me feel good because I get to hear people and their feedback on my art and what they think, and I get to actually see people where my paintings are going to their home. It's like giving a child away.
Foray says other local artists have helped push her forward. She's collaborating with artist Leilani Leo on their second show.
We don't think of it as professional because we're artists, so we don't think of art as being our profession. Unfortunately, it's a lifestyle.
That's why Foray is like many artists. She has to work a side job as well. She runs an event planning business right next to her studio so she can roll over to paint at any time. Foray would not have picked up art again if not for a terrible tragedy. Something no one wants to hear.
So it's been almost 3 years, and I just wasn't feeling well, and I knew something was wrong. You know your body, and so I went to the doctor and had an exam, and the test results came back not good.
Foray had been diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. She almost didn't survive after going into respiratory arrest. Finally, after coming back from a medically induced coma, Foray turned to the art she long ago forgot. She held on to it tightly, as if to stay alive.
Well, I went into art because I thought I was going to die, and I'm not dead, so I'm doing it.
She doesn't just want to do the right thing. Foray also wants to do what she loves.
When I got the cancer diagnosis, I was on Pinterest one day and just kind of trying to veg out a little bit, and I saw this style of drawing. And it's mostly just patterns.
Foray draws these tangled patterns with Indian ink pens of different sizes to achieve the look that she wants. These drawings can take anywhere from 20 minutes to 20 hours, depending on the amount of detail. She normally starts with a base drawing of a beautiful woman and fills in the painting with her patterns. Through her experience and with her newfound creative release, Foray wants to give back to those that she feels could benefit from art therapy.
And I'm not tearing up because I'm sad. I'm tearing up because I feel so strong.
Maybe a strength she never knew she had until she needed it. Joshua Brangenberg, Inside Jacksonville.
Josh adds you can find Foray at her booth in Hemming Plaza during Art Walk. Her pink tent is directly in front of Mocha.
Many parents here on the First Coast know that raising kids while your other half is away can be one of the hardest jobs.
Normal daily routines can become overwhelming tasks, especially during deployment. Jordan Price gives us a glimpse into the lives of one local military family.
It's Saturday afternoon, and Nathan Merritt plays football with the Ocean Way Buccaneers. His number one fan is not there in the stands. Nathan's dad, Nick, has been deployed since Valentine's Day as a Navy pilot and wishes he was there to cheer him on.
This is a picture of us fishing, and we caught a big shark, bigger than my sister. And it says, "Nate, I can't wait until I get home. We get to fish together again. I'm going to miss you so much, and I'll always be thinking of you. Love, Daddy."
His other number one fan is on the sidelines. Kara Merritt is the team mom. She says Nathan took his father's absence very hard.
At first, my son did not handle it very well. He had a lot of anger and was getting in fights and was mean towards me.
Not only was it hard for Nathan, but Kara realized how many events he missed out on with the family.
Like, you really don't realize how much they miss until you start going through pictures. Like, I'm all the way back to, he left on Valentine's Day. So, like, we had baseball, Easter, your birthday, our anniversary, Mother's Day.
According to citydata.com, there's estimated 127,000 military families that live in North Florida. With that said, it is difficult for a military spouse to juggle kids, a job, and home with their loved one being deployed. Many rely on family and friends to help ease the burden.
Friends help by taking the kids to some of their sporting events for me when I'm double booked or whatever. They'll invite us to do stuff on holidays.
Having friends and family is a good backbone to have, but the Navy has a support system too.
The military helps by having so many resources available if we needed it on the base, and there's just like they offer discounted tickets and stuff, so we can do family fun things.
One of our top priorities to make sure our families are taken care of.
Eric Sherman retired from the military after 20 plus years, but uses his experience to help families.
Many years ago, the Department of Defense didn't have a very good support structure in place for the families, and recently, a few years ago, the Department of Defense realized if the service members are going to go off to serve, they have to go off knowing that their families are going to be taken care of. And we feel it's our responsibility to make sure they're taken care of.
This sign is in the Merritt's kitchen. It's a symbol of just how much they miss Nick, their husband and dad. Even after being gone for 7 months, 11 days still seems like an eternity. But that just may make this homecoming that much sweeter. Jordan Price, Inside Jacksonville.
And Jordan adds that Nick Merritt finally made it home a few days ago, and they've all been enjoying time on the beach, baseball, and of course, football.
If you've ever done anything remotely social in Jacksonville, you've probably seen these happy hour guys around. What started out as a little website has grown into a booming marketing and photography business for one local man. Let me introduce you to him.
Charles Wagner has his hands full. His company, 904 Happy Hour, has some 40 local and national clients. 904 Happy Hour started out as just a website. It exploded into a social media bonanza. The name suggests nightlife. It's become a whole lot more. Wagner and his team of photographers cover all sorts of social events, from sporting events to charity work. Wagner got the idea while marketing for a national retail chain.
Well, I did marketing for Target, and I was tired of retail, and I wanted to change, and I saw some opportunities to help out local charities and other local businesses through a platform that wasn't around.
Wagner and his team of 7 photographers manage the website and go to events throughout the week, taking photographs of people and covering the events. His clients include the St. Augustine Amphitheater, the PGA Tour, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wagner runs the social media for the NFL team on the brand new video board.
I get to interact with 70,000 fans each game and throw it up there on the big board, and if they get lucky, they get to be in front of, tons of people.
At night, Wagner can often be found at local bars. He's well known throughout Jacksonville as the 904 Happy Hour guy, but he's not the only one. Joseph Cardellano works for Wagner as a photographer. He's been with the company for about a year and says he loves working for the website.
For me, I would say a lot of it's the events. I love working the events, but what I really do love about doing 904 Happy Hour events is the concerts.
As for Wagner, his favorite part of the job is helping local businesses.
It's cool to see you're taking a project that has no direction, doesn't know where they're going to go. They don't even know if they're going to make it, and you help them brand themselves.
Believe it or not, Charles doesn't have a formal background in photography. He went to school here at UNF for computer science.
Why didn't he use his computer science degree?
He actually didn't finish his degree. He wanted to focus on the website, and he's doing a good job.
Exactly. It looks like it's really working out for him, and he's probably going to go back later on, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, finding a job that you're passionate about can be difficult, but once you find it, breaking into that business can be just as hard.
Jasmine Skinner has the story of one man who's trying to spin his way to the top, one record at a time.
Fridays are considered the end of the work week for most people, but for DJ WizKid, he's just getting started. It's like a party when he helps out with the live radio mix show alongside of radio veterans Eazy-E and DJ Dr. Doom, who have showed him a few things in the studio. Every Friday, WizKid mixes at Oceanwood, a place where people come to dance and have a good time. It may seem easy, but he assures you it's tough to be new talent.
It's really tough because you got your haters, you have people who actually support you, so it's a mix of everything. So I kind of have to block the negativity out and just keep moving forward. I can show people better than I can prove them. So all my actions are going to speak so much louder than anything I can tell somebody. So it's hard, but I got this.
WizKid says he lets his talent speak for itself. When he's not spinning for his own events, he spins for 93.3 The Beat, a radio station that helps him network and perform with various artists and entertain large crowds. With more than 245 million listeners each month, Clear Channel Radio has 7 of their radio stations here in Jacksonville, Florida. And this is where marketing and programming director T-May gave DJ WizKid his big break.
DJ WizKid is definitely the future of the beat. That's why I brought him in. I wanted a young, hip DJ that could represent the beat and grow with the beat and the station and the new direction that we're going to go. So DJ WizKid, his future is limitless. He could take it wherever he wants to.
93.3 to beat jams. What's up? It's your boy DJ WizKid.
WizKid says it was a teacher who gave him the music bug.
My band teacher, she taught me everything, like from reading music to kind of like creating my own style with it. So I carried that on to 9th grade to 10th grade. I continued on with band. I tried to get a day job and I got fired. Like, it wasn't working. So I was like, I really just want to DJ. Like, I just want to try it because I just was thinking independently. So I tried, I worked. I found another job after I got fired, of course. I worked, saved up a lot of money, and I bought 2 turntables and a little mixer, and I just took that and I ran with it.
DJ WizKid continues to promote himself with the help of social media and friends. He hopes to be one of the hottest DJs in Florida within the next 5 years. Jasmine Skinner, Inside Jacksonville.
You know, Annie, I have seen him actually DJ around town, and I found out that he actually was born in Canada.
That's crazy because he actually went to high school with me at Paxton here in town, and then I know that he went to UCF afterwards, and he has a degree in psychology.
Small world. Interesting.
Jacksonville to Berlin is a 4,500-mile journey, but it's also the fulfillment of a dream for a couple of local guys. You'll meet them ahead.
And later, the story of one inspiring young lady who practices what she preaches. Stick around.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes off the bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. The first pitch is fouled between Jackson.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to Inside Jacksonville. This Sunday morning, our topic is work.
For some, starting a new company is a dream project. The guys who started One Spark, the crowdfunding event in Jacksonville last spring, have finally seen their dream come true in Europe.
Carter Rausch was there in Germany to see it firsthand. He joins us live. Carter?
Think about it for a minute. A radical business idea comes to life here in Jacksonville. Then just a few months later, seeing that same idea take hold in Berlin.
You want to go over those details? Crowdfund?
It all began in a coffee shop as a conversation between a few friends writing ideas on a cocktail napkin. This discussion would eventually lead to the creation of OneSpark, the crowdfunding event that drew 250,000 people to downtown Jacksonville last April. Now, what started off as an ambitious project has turned into an international concept, having its first event earlier this month in Berlin, Germany. For Elton Rivas, one of the co-founders of OneSpark, expanding to a new location meant finding a market that would keep the original intentions of the event intact.
It's hard to figure out a way to simplify that, keeping the essence of what OneSpark is and creating really this new product, OneSpark Start, that could work in other markets.
After the first OneSpark event in 2013, Rivas decided to expand out to different countries so that he could expose the concept of in-person crowdfunding to new markets. While scouting out locations in Europe, he met Travis Todd, who convinced him that Berlin would be the perfect location for a new event.
Long discussion. It took about probably a year of discussing with the founders about where they wanted to expand to and why I thought Berlin would be a good opportunity. And eventually I convinced them that this was kind of, if they wanted to expand the brand and they wanted to come to Europe, this was going to be the creative hub of Europe.
The German version of OneSpark, called OneSpark Start Berlin, had the same concept as Jacksonville's, just smaller, just 50 creators compared to more than 600. The event itself only lasted for 1 day instead of Jacksonville's 5. Despite its size, 5,000 people turned out for Berlin's OneSpark. Adjusting to a new market was not easy, says OneSpark Executive Director Joe Sampson, but it eventually came along.
We're adjusting to the market, we're adapting to the market, and that while we stick to our core mission, that this is a Berlin specific event that's tailored to this audience, and that's taken a bit of time, but I think we've gotten there.
Going international doesn't mean the OneSpark crew has forgotten its roots. The event returns to Jacksonville next spring. Annie and Ashley?
Carter, how was it that you followed OneSpark to Germany?
I was part of a UNS student news bureau that covered OneSpark here in Jacksonville and followed it to Germany. 5 of us would meet every morning in an editorial meeting. That's where we decided which stories we cover each day. Some of the assignments included stories on the organizers and participants, and even a profile of the director of the Holocaust Museum. Journalism professor Paula Horvath said the experience was priceless.
It's important for them, it's important for all students, and particularly important for journalism students to get an experience of what it's like to report in a different culture. We are becoming one world today. And when we turn out journalism students, they have to understand intercultural differences, they have to understand intercultural nuances. And really the only way to get that understanding is to go to a different country.
Horvath said if another international opportunity comes up, she'll try to make that one happen too. Ashley and Annie?
Thanks, Carter.
UNF students learned a lot going to another country, and many students from other countries learn a lot studying here, all with the hope of building successful careers.
Finding a job in Jacksonville is one international student's best shot at starting his career. Brittany Donovan has a story.
Luis Carmijo is a senior at the University of North Florida. He's like many students. He studies a lot, loves the outdoors, and is ready to start the American dream. But there's a complication. Carmijo is from Venezuela, and he's here on a student visa. He wants to stay in Jacksonville after he graduates in December. But if he can't find a job, he'll be forced to go back home to a place that's not really safe.
I lived in the same city since I was born, so my whole life is over there. So basically that's why you're living. But right now, the situation that my country is in, you don't really think about that because coming back might be maybe dangerous. There's a lot of kidnapping involved. There's a lot of government taking over private sector industries.
So he spent the past 4.5 years focused on beginning his career here. He works at the Rockwall and Rope Course on campus. He was an intern at OneSpark and worked his way up to assistant of the event manager during the festival. OneSpark's Meredith Johnson says Carmijo's Spanish was a huge asset because he was able to reach out to Spanish publications in Jacksonville.
We actually ended up doing some radio interviews in Spanish for OneSpark, which was great to be able to reach that audience and attract them to OneSpark to participate as creators or attendees.
I went through all the departments, so I worked a little bit with finance, operations, marketing, customer relations. So it was a really eye-opening experience for me because that's what I really want to do in the future.
But it's hard for him to plan his future when he's not sure if he'll be able to stay. He can work for a year if he finds a job within 60 days of graduation. After that, he'll need an employer to sponsor him for a work visa. If that happens, a government lottery will determine if Carmijo can be one of the applicants who can stay. It's a lottery that immigration lawyer Kendra Bunn calls pretty challenging.
It's less than $100,000 per year. And this year there was almost double the applicants. So you had about a 1 in 2, 1 in 3 chance of getting into this little lottery system.
Bunn says companies can pay up to $4,000 for each application. Many small employers just can't afford that. Dr. Timothy Robinson is director of the UNF International Center. He says there are a few reasons companies are reluctant to hire foreign workers, but not all are.
Depending upon the company and where their horizons are, the international background of a student might be very useful. So, for example, I remember a Chinese student who found a position with a company where they wanted to do some marketing of some products in China. Well, that's very useful to have a student from China.
The pressure is on for Carmijo to find a job. He says at this point, all he can do is try. Brittany Donovan, Inside Jacksonville.
You know, finding a job is hard enough if you're a U.S. citizen.
I know. I couldn't imagine having such short a time to find something, or else you have to go back to another country.
Exactly. Well, we definitely wish him the best. When we return, one local woman proves she is more than just her disability.
We'll show you how she goes above and beyond to help others in the same boat. Don't go away.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Well, working with a disability can be quite of a struggle.
But having a disability doesn't mean someone can't make a valuable contribution. Lauren Hersey has the story of one woman who's a good example of that.
Sarah Gaver is an educational aide at UNF's Disability Resource Center. It's a student job. She helps disabled students with their accommodations so they can take their tests. Gaver says she enjoys the job because she gets a chance to help people with disabilities.
I've always wanted to work with students who go to school. I've worked or volunteered in high schools before and worked with students with disabilities throughout the summer at summer camps and stuff, and I really liked being able to get students to transition to the college atmosphere and not have to worry about that boundary of I have a disability and I don't fit in. They actually are more accepted when they have people who are on their side and advocate for them.
Gaver understands all too well what it's like. She was born with a disability that limits the use of her arms and legs. Some things are harder for her, like using the mouse on a computer or answering phones, but she doesn't let her disability get in the way of her work.
You come in and they may communicate differently than by voice, and it's sometimes hard to communicate with them because I can't point or use my hands to help reach for things for them or things like that. So sometimes it's hard to communicate with students, but other than that, the people I work with are really good about helping out, so it's not too much of a struggle.
LaShawn Spurl is Gaver's office manager. She calls Gaver a multitasker, a go-getter, and a good representative of people with disabilities.
She has shown that she's capable of handling things. She is able to write. She's able to do whatever is asked of her to do. She's even gone over beyond the call of duty when something is asked of her.
Friends and colleagues agree that Gaver goes beyond what is asked of her. Gaver's co-worker, Selena Patel, says she loves to work with her.
Sarah's very outgoing. She loves to help our students. She's the first one to read for a student, scribe for a student. They need help operating a computer. She's the first one to go and help them. It looks like she really loves her job and what she does, and she's one of those people that really like to help people.
Gaver's been invited to speak at a conference sponsored by an international nonprofit group called TED. She says it's an opportunity to expand her mission to an even greater audience.
My TED Talk is about helping people understand what it's like to live with a physical disability every day and kind of adjust and show them what perceptions I see that people have of us and what they don't necessarily see themselves as having, and letting them understand that this is how it kind of affects our lives when you perceive us one way, but this is the way you should kind of perceive us instead, seeing that we have more ability than people normally think we do.
And that's why Gaver does what she does. Lauren Hersey, Inside Jacksonville.
Lauren told us that Gaver plans on becoming a math teacher after she graduates.
You know, with all her experience, I really think she'll do a great job at that.
You know, if she wants any more experience, she could be my math tutor for now.
Oh, no.
It's just hard.
It was only a few tests. You still have a lot coming. You still have some more chances. But she's a really big inspiration. And I know to me, if she can make that happen, I would definitely look up to her.
And it's great that she has a TED Talk coming up. We'll have to catch up with that.
Exactly. Great. Well, that's a wrap for today's Inside Jacksonville.
If you missed anything from today's program, just visit our website. Go to unfmedia.com and click on Inside Jacksonville. You'll find expanded versions of our stories, photos, interviews, and other extras.
Thanks for joining us this Sunday morning.
We'll see you next time, Inside Jacksonville.